President South Asia, Newgen Software. And the presentation is on technology, digital transformation in lending. So we'd like to give a brief introduction. So he's the Vice President South Asia and the company is Newgen Software. Sunil Pandita manages Newgen sales and business operations in the South Asia geography. He has 20 years of progressive experience in the technology industry and has worked with several companies including Samsung, Adobe and IBM. Sunil is a regular presenter and keynote, and yes, your name will be there in the lucky draw box, and we're going to announce lucky draw winners in the evening. Thank you so much. At least welcome to you, sir. Over to you.
Good morning, everyone. I think you will become stay over here because everyone wants to have a cup of tea. So I have 15 minutes. I promise I will not go beyond 15 minutes. I think it's been a wonderful session. 3 sessions in the morning. People from the industry, people from technology. But there was one common theme in all the discussions, which was technology. And my friend Dominic is here. He can vouch for that, and he does that day in and day out. So that's really important. Now, if you look at financial services industry, not just the NBFCs, but the entire gamut of financial services industry in the last few years, I think we're in a inflection point. We're really at a sweet spot, especially in India. All the parameters, if you look at, either on the demand side or on the supply side, are showing up extremely well. If you look at specifically at NBFCs, we had challenges, right, starting from 2018 with ILFS and then other stuff happening. But I think we've come out of that. Demand is robust for credit, right? Banks are not equipped to service all that demand that we know. So there's a big room for play. So things that really are important for you as leaders in this market is how do you fulfill that demand? How quickly you do that? So speed becomes of essence, and there is going to be competition. India is a credit-starved country, so there are a lot of players, fintechs coming in. The banks will also want to leverage that demand. So how agile you are to do product innovation, what is the technology stack you use, I think those things are going to be really important. What are the technology maturity trends that we have seen? So I said product innovation, innovation, and the earlier presenter from UBM mentioned having a product which is curated for different market segments. Then we have seen mobile play an important part. We spoke about technology, we spoke about the jam trinity, but mobile really has been an important driver for all interactions with consumers. And look at all sectors, even in microfinance, where the literacy is a challenge, but the digital literacy is such that you transact, you do everything on the. Imagine any interface, any application, or any interaction you're having with the customer today without a mobile footprint. There is an increased movement towards platform-based solutions. So we as players in the industry, one big trend we have seen is whatever investment was done on lending or digital lending in the last 4 or 5 years, a lot of that is coming for modernization now. And the simple reason was all those technology innovations were being built on point products. And when COVID hit us, when the customer wanted another channel to be open to give customer flexibility, those products struggled. So there is increased realization that we need to go for platform-based products from a technology standpoint. Now, from an industry point of view, there's a huge regulatory interventions which are happening from government, from RBI, based on the book size or based on the AUM size, newer regulations, which is good. So if you look at the NPAs, they have mostly been under control and they've improved gradually, which is obviously better governance by the NBFCs themselves, and also because of the mandates that RBI is coming up with. The risk management, there are better underwriting tools that are being used. There is alternate data. You collect a lot of data from the customers, but there's alternate data. So today, a lot of MSME lending happens by the GST data that you get. Right? It becomes so easy. You move from asset-based lending to flow-based lending. So all those things have contributed for you to take better decisions in extending credit to the people who need it. So what's the way forward? And I again go back. Innovation will be key. Innovation on the product side. Imagine a product that needs to be delivered, which cannot be delivered, which is not supported by technology, which cannot be delivered as a technology product. Any lending product that you have has to be thought of being delivered as a technology product. Your operations have to be streamlined because that is a direct implication of today customers that we talk to are talking of what is the average cost of servicing a loan, right? They're talking of entire loan life cycle management. How much cost does it take us to service a particular loan? We're talking of risk management, and I said, but the real operating word here is we spoke about technology, and one of the panelists in the panel discussion prior to this mentioned, we have data, it's in silos, it's difficult to connect various applications, so we somewhere get lost. Why is that happening? That's happening because we made these investments as an inside-out paradigm. Now, turn it on its head and look at customer experience. That's really going to be the driver, whether you're looking at onboarding, whether you're looking at sanction, whether you're looking at customer servicing, you're looking at collections. The entire gamut across that life cycle is going to be determined by customer experiences. So we spoke about technology, we spoke about yourself, we spoke about solution providers like ourselves. But there's one person who matters most in this, which is your customer, and we're going to talk about that. So we spoke about microfinance, and the customer is today very diverse. You have a GLG customer, you also have a millionaire who's wanting to take a personal loan. He just come up college, he's got a good job, he wants a car loan, he wants a personal loan. So are you fast, are you simple, are you accessible to that demographic? You have done digital interventions, of course, in the last few years. What have you done? You invested in portals, right? You couldn't have survived without mobility, so whether it's in onboarding or in collections, you have invested in mobility technology. You have integration with social channels, because that's what the millennials want. You have deployed, and we spoke about analytics, in credit underwriting, even in collections, you have deployed analytics, you have machine learning on top of that, you have one of the AI models, you have data which is of a fair volume where you can run those models. The question is, did you transform experiences for your customer? Are you able to give loans in minutes, or are you still able to do it in days? Can your customers apply 100% online? Those are the questions you need to ask yourselves. Do we have underwriting models which are robust enough to give you decisions which are impactful? And how do you reduce NPAs? I talked about the regulatory framework changing and more regulations coming into play. So whatever regulations are being made, there is a people aspect, but there's a very strong technology aspect to be able to comply to those regulations. So is your technology stack, is it flexible enough to adapt to those regulatory changes?
Thank you.
And what about once you have approved the loan, once you have sanctioned the loan, what about the servicing part? What about collections? So these are very pertinent questions that you have asked. And the difference in these questions and the earlier ones is that these are questions where you're keeping the customer in the center of all your models. So we spoke about the various initiatives you have taken, going digital. Is going digital necessarily digital transformation? We believe it's not. And why is it not? So let's take the example of a millionaire, Sneha. Right? She's a well-to-do millionaire, she's going well in life, she's a high-earning person, she wants to build a loan, right? And she's aware, so she is connected on social, she's connected with friends, she can look at different options, what is the best place to, what are the best rates she gets. So she wants to, get a personal loan, and she contacts you. So she expects this should be a cakewalk, because this is what her interaction is with an Uber. This is what her interaction is with Amazon. She expects the Paytm history takes days, and you have just lost a customer. This is a well-to-do executive, so he already has a loan account with you. He wants to prepay that, right? And this again should be a very simple process. So he contacts you, and to understand the prepayment terms. And two different interfaces through call center and through another channel. He gets two different plans of prepayment, and he's lost that he's been a good customer, he's a good credit history. Why is that happening? Maybe some point in time earlier there was one payment which did not get on time because of standard instructions did not happen, and because of that, he is facing issues in his. So these are again important questions. Why this is happening is we are focusing on enabling digital lending as opposed to we're not looking at the customer. So we're not looking at the journeys that the customer is taking right from onboarding to collections and that entire life cycle. So what is it that we need? We need digital acceleration, and we believe there are 3 pillars to digital acceleration. The first is customer experience, right? Omni-channel, channel agnostic, choice of channel that the customer wants. Operational excellence. Now, customer experience cannot be just achieved by a portal and a mobile, because with portal and a mobile, you might be able to do an instant loan approval. But imagine the downstream processes of doing the disbursement, collateral management, documentation. Unless you have a robust mid-office and an ops layer, you will not be, so you will create a dissonance in the customer. And you have to innovate continuously. So these 3 form a very virtuous loop. Whatever customer experience you're doing at the front end, your mid end and your operations layer is equipped to handle that as secondary channel. And you're getting a lot of feeds, you're getting a lot of input. So use that data to do predictive and prescriptive analytics on top of that, which is what business innovation is. So that when you're looking at the customer again, the same customer again, you're able to service him better. So how do we transform lending? This is our 9-point mantra. You need to look at end-to-end journeys for retail lending, for real-time closures. There will be KYC, there will be documentation, but is your system enabled to take out data, extract, do intelligence on the document, do document classification and take out key data and do KYC instantly? Is your platform open enough to integrate with APIs from all the players? Do you have, again, models which take care of credit bureaus and which run AI in your credit decisioning? Are you able to issue alerts for collections? Co-lending is emerging as a big theme, right? With banks and other NBFCs and BNPL with the newer generation. So does your model, do you have to create a different stack for co-lending and BNPL? Or will the same platform that you have be able to develop another scheme without changing the base platform? I spoke about omni-channel and being continuously in touch. We gave the example of Sneha. So during that entire process, you're in touch with her. And of course, cloud native, because that gives you advantage to scale up, scale down as you want. And this is a competitive world, so you have to differentiate. Your product innovation will be a function of how your technology stack is equipped to take care of those product innovations. So this is what we are able to do. We go back to Sneha. So how do I do this? She accesses, she goes to Facebook, and you're able to take that field. So you run, sentiment analysis. You do NLP. With that, you're able to get a fairly good profile of that customer, including history, with which your system is robust enough to serve her dynamic product configurations. She does a mix and match, and she's able to take out that this is the ideal product for her, and she's able to do this on her own without any interface. And then the downstream processes of KYC, OCR on documentation, and finishing the integrations and actually getting into the approval process. All this is done in an STP process, right? With no manual intervention. And all this while you are updating Sneha about her application status. So she receives the welcome document, she digitally signs, e-signs, and you're done. She receives funds in her account. But is it that simple? Why is it not that simple? What potentially could have happened? Let's say she started the application, she gets distracted, she starts on tablet, moves to laptop, then wants to fill, but you ask her to fill the entire application all over again because your technology is not enabled that she starts where she had left, right? And there's a document that is missing. So what happens? Again, the same old process. So your digital fails, right? You might think that you have digital, but these are points where your digital fails. If you do this right, then you have a happy customer. Similarly, in the case of Harsh, where he had a prepayment challenge, if you have a system which keeps on giving him alerts both for payments and post payments, and you're able to make sure that he's updated if his payment is failing or when his payment is due. What you also do is the relationship manager, and we talk of customer experience. Customer experience cannot be successful without employee experience because there's an employee who's servicing the customer. But the employee has to get an equally great experience so that he services your customer equally well. So he's a happy customer if you do this right. I talked of those three pillars, which is customer experience, operational efficiency, and business innovation, as the key pivots to achieve digital acceleration, keeping your customer in the front. And this is the hyper automation layer. I don't want to get into technology, but this is the underlying layer, which is a low-code platform from Newgen, which has serviced, 10 out of top 12 banks in India, most NBFCs, from credit access to, to Stray to BMW. So across auto loans, housing loans, and these are the various products that are built on this platform. The difference is, since it is a low-code platform embedded in AI, you're not stuck with a point product, so you can change. And you can use the same product for onboarding, for LOS, for LMS, for collections, EWS, and with AI built into it. So it is not about digital, and it is about reimagining the process, keeping the customer in mind, and then having a tech suite which enables you to give those kinds of experience with the customer. Thank you. All right, I think everyone is waiting. Thank you. Thanks for that.